Good morning. The truth is, I never feel prepared for these, but here we are. It is Monday morning. Sorry, I'm playing with my screen here. It's not cooperating. It's Monday morning. We are doing our follow-up live stream, Going Deeper, where we take something that we talked about on Sunday and we just drill down a little deeper with it sometime during the week. So I want to welcome you, wish you good morning. Hello, Deeper Waters, friends and family, and passers-by, if you happen to be stopping in. Yesterday, the message was called Where's the Love? It was out of Revelation chapter 2, where Jesus is talking to the church at Ephesus, and he says, you're doing all this good stuff, you're working, you are faithful, you don't tolerate wicked people, you can't stand the works of the Nicolaitans. I think I was pronouncing that wrong yesterday. No, Nicolaitans. And you're doing all this good stuff, but I hold this against you. You've lost your first love. And we really drilled down pretty deep into that. It was a good day, good message. Anyway, good response. The Lord moved. I want to tell you about the way that message came about, because that is not what I had planned to preach on. I had planned to preach on something totally different. So last Monday, I had spent the day crafting my sermon for Sunday, which would have been yesterday. Got everything ready, thought we were good to go. Wednesday morning, early, I was in prayer before I went to the clinic, and I just felt a leading in my spirit, which I believe was from the Holy Spirit, that I needed to shift gears, and I needed to focus on that passage out of Revelation 2. Now, that's not something that I do often. I'm not a last-minute sermon changer. With my schedule, I'm a tri-vocational pastor. I pastor plus 2 other jobs that I have, so my time is very limited. I am at the church usually 2 days a week. One day is spent focusing on my sermon. The other day is spent focusing on everything else. I'm also the worship leader, so I work on worship for the coming Sunday, administrative stuff, planning, prepping for meetings, counseling, like all that other stuff I try to cram into the other day. And so having written a sermon, it is a big deal for me to stop and to just completely start over from scratch. That means that either all the other stuff that I intended to do the next day I'm here is going to get pushed off, or I've got to do all that other stuff on my day off. So it's not stuff that I do. It's not something I do often. But it was strong enough that I felt this was from the Lord. I needed to do it. So I come preach Sunday, and after service, I asked for testimonies, and somebody spoke up, Ryan, and he shared that on Wednesday, same day as me, that he had felt a prompting from the Lord to share something with his life group, I think it was. And it was the same theme, almost the same words as the final drive home of this sermon. It was confirmation that was from the Lord and it was the right thing for that day. Why do I tell you all that? I tell you all that because when we began this January fast, I said that I wanted us to hear from the Lord together, right? There are some specific things we are praying about and praying for. And I said, I don't want to be the only guy hearing from this. I want to hear, and I want you to hear, so that we hear together, so that what is heard is confirmed together, so that we can move forward as a church body together. That's how the gifts of the Holy Spirit work. There is confirmation involved. And that's what happened, and it was really cool. It's one of a few things that has happened over this past week or two that we've been fasting. I say all that, though, to say this. Out of John chapter 20, verse 31, I want you to hear this verse. But these are written, okay, so John has written this book about Jesus, his ministry, and he's wrapping it up, and he says, but these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. The purpose for John writing the Gospel of John is so that you may believe that Jesus is the Son of God and that you may come to him and have life in him, right? My encouragement to you is to be thinking along those lines as we fast together, because I think that as we continue to fast and pray for this month, that the Lord is going to speak more, and those things like with Ryan and me Sunday are going to happen more frequently. And as they do, I want to encourage you to write them down. If you don't have a prayer journal or something like that, I encourage you to get that, to write it down so that when God does something real in your life, you have it to look back on, to encourage yourself in the dry times and in the difficult times and in the times when your faith is weak, but also so that you have something to share with your kids, like real stuff that really happened to you in your life, things that God really did in your real life that you can share with your kids and your family and your grandkids, that they can hear and know that God was alive and real and working in your life. As much as we feel like they don't, our kids do listen to what we say, and they watch what we do, and even though we don't feel like it's true, and social media is gaining more and more influence, parents still are the greatest influencers in their kids' life. And so my encouragement this week is that when God does something powerful in your life or in your church, something real, to the real you, write it down, talk to your kids about it, let them know about it. Seems like it's so much easier to talk to, our family and our kids about everything else, school and sports, than it is about Jesus and what he's doing in our life. So that's my encouragement to you. When God moves in your life, write it down as a remembrance for you and as an encouragement to your kids that Jesus is alive, he's real, and he really did and is moving in your life. I love you guys. Have a great week, and keep up the fasting and praying. We'll see you next time. Love y'all. Bye-bye.